we have an amazing, great relationship with our legal team here. But in some companies, legal is a really hard thing to get through because, as you said, being a regulated business where the risk is perceived to be very high, it's hard to convince them, and it's hard to get past it sometimes. In our case, and some of the quotes you mentioned that I had said in the past, that is the truth, because the way I look at it is, my first couple of weeks here with legal counsel, they said, okay, well, we just want to make sure you have control over. And I looked at them and I kind of chuckled. I said, listen, if you guys think you control anything anymore, you're mistaken. And the reason I said that was not that they can't tie down every computer in the building or make rules that say you can't do this or do that, but I have this. I have a mobile device. And so you can tell me that you don't want me on Facebook at work because it's going to waste time, but I can still do it on my phone. So it's so permeated our culture that I think those that fight against it and rail against it, even in regulated industries, are going the wrong direction. What they need to do, and what we've done here, thank goodness, because we have a great leadership team, is the fact that we're able to say, you know what, we understand, you're going to participate, you talk about where you work, so let's give you tools and pieces of content and opportunities to talk about what you do and the company you work for, but do it in a way that's legal, that's not going to violate any of the restrictions that we have on us because of the fact that we handle people's money. So to me, that's the approach. The approach is not, I think in a lot of companies that have regulated industries, it's just a no, because it's too hard. But the reality is it's not that hard. It just takes some work, and it takes, I think, the mindset that, listen, folks are going to do this. We're better off educating them, training them, and giving them the guardrails so that we don't get in big trouble. Because I think when you don't give them anything, any direction, you just say no, 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 what you do is that's where I think people have the big mess-ups, right? It's the opportunity where you do something and then you're in trouble with the SEC or the FTC, whatever. And so by training, educating, and giving people the opportunity to participate, I think keeps you safer in the long run. The social advocator, was something that we talked about with Expion, and then they helped us develop, right? Which was the point that, you know what? If people are going to share, we want them to share the right thing. We don't want to put words in their mouth altogether, and I'll talk about that in a second. What we want to do is they're excited. When we start a tax season, the workforce here is pumped up. They're ready to go. It's like a locker room before a soccer match or a football game. They are ready to go. They're all excited. They want to deliver for the business. And so if we can give them that motivation and the pieces to where, hey, I'm going to talk about what I do and the fact that we're open, that to me was a no-brainer. And the Advocator helps us do that. So we can take content that we produce here or others produce for us, because our content strategy has been incredibly successful for us. We can take that, send that to them via a web add-on, the Advocator, and then they can then share that and add a little personal message. So that is very significant because you know, Ben, and everyone watching today knows how important recommendations are and how we trust content from trusted sources. So if a friend of mine on Facebook puts a piece of content out that I find useful and something that I like, I'm more likely to share that. So again, instead of a social team in Kansas City spreading social content and hoping for the best with engagement, we now put it in the hands of 90,000 other people. And so the reach and the opportunity to get the brand in front of others is so greater, and the trust level is even better. And for us, that's significant. And then if you think about this too, if you're a tax pro, you develop a network of clients, and every year you count on those clients to come back. So that personal relationship is key. And if I can, let's say in June, when I know my client's not going to come see me until January, if I can continue to be in front of them and send them content that's useful for them, for example, hey, it's summertime, your kids are going to camp, is any of that tax deductible? If I'm a family and my tax pro sends me that in my Facebook feed or on LinkedIn, that's interesting to me, and I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna remember that tax pro, and so I won't think about going somewhere else. So it's worked really well for us. Empowering them, having them become our advocates is paying dividends already.